realize something. Hold on. So, I was gonna go by my intro as normal, but that didn't realize that because my hotkey sent me to the end of the replay. So, this is in replay mode. And it's sort of a tape delayed broadcast, if you will, because I wasn't here on Wednesday. So, I'm gonna have to view this race in replay mode, hence why just cut the stack immediately as I unmuted my mic. So, apologies for that. Let me just put you over here. Try this again. So, welcome back to Charlotte for BPNR, where, again, it happened yesterday, but there's a tape delay, so I'm watching it through replay mode. But today it is D2 for the Stars and Stripes 100. So, before we showcase qualifying, might as well take a look at the point standings heading into this very race. Colin Teague has a big margin, 116 points over Rookie of the Year leader Brandon Carter, over a race lead actually. Danish Dragons in third place, McGalry's fourth, Mantis Bells in fifth. And this is the all-season points tally, so assuming Colin T can keep this pace and continue to show up to put decent results, he should be able to easily win a championship. So, my main gripe about having to do this in replay mode is that the ticker doesn't work in replay mode. It only works in single player and multiplayer races. So unfortunately, you're just gonna have to deal with the standard graphic ticker that the game provides. So it'll be scouted in on pole position with William Viola in P2 and Lana Lau in P3. He's highlighted because this is his replay. Salos, I believe, is doing this race. Just checking, yep. Be him in fourth, Houston Bell, and Dylan Legrand. In row 3, Colin Teague in 37, who's that again? Riley Goff, never heard of them. They'll be in row 4. Row 9 consists of Dragons and Sebastian Kukulon. And those are the only 10 people set qualifying times. Well, Hector Garcia, Daniel Rodriguez, and I believe that's Lineback. Yeah, Lineback shows up for some reason, but those are, I presume, the 13 cars are racing again. I have no idea. So, I'll just go over talking points during happy hour, even though I could easily just skip to the race. But there are a good amount of things to refer to. Can I just set this up over here? And yeah, so I won't be in happy hour too long. It's just going over the idea. So the ticker doesn't work in replay mode, so we're just gonna use the in-game stuff here. And I also had to move around my flags and stuff to this scene you're seeing. This is normally just a blank one where nothing really happens. Nothing's really showcased here. This right showcase points, race results, all that stuff. Without the ticker. The ticker and all that is in a separate scene. So that sums up the behind the scenes, if you will. But as Skylar then on pole, interesting. Let's see how they do. Viola got wiped out in the Tuesday race. We'll see how that goes. Daniel Rodriguez, he's on track. In his opinion, he got a net game, which honestly I care to. He stayed out and got ahead of the big wreck that took place during overtime, so it's a net game for him. With very few cars this time, we'll see if that gamble is even worth taking. And he'll make his first D1 Leech event. Yeah, Bradley Golf, never heard of them. They're in Kyle Watts' car. Watts did one start in D1, that being at Chicago land. One pole there, and never got to see light day again. So Riley, much like David Hank last week with the 22 car, 37 sees a new driver with pretty much the same car file. I can eventually, I think there's, I need to do this. 1, 2, I haven't seen Salos race. I don't think he's actually racing, so he said at lap time, but I don't know if he's actually participating. So, I suppose, with nothing really much to do about now, we can cut straight to the race, as, well, might as well get it over with. And one of the few things I forgot to pull into this scene is the race infographic. So, womp womp. 67 laps, the scheduled distance, 5 extra laps for overtime purposes. It's going to be 2x squared with cut physics and, again, overtime possible. Do I have to sit through 20 seconds? No, I do not feel like it. So as the cars roll off, for what should be a calm event at Charlotte Moore Speedway, one stop is possible. Expect some teams like Viola to get that spot. And she's got then DQ their lap, so that puts William Viola on pole position. So as Space Car heads in, it's going to be Viola and Lana Lau now on the front row. Followed by Solos and T Grow 2. Green flag, we are underway at Charlotte. Alrighty, 3 wide, that's Colin Teague and number 51, white and pink Dodge Challenger. Making a move for what would have been 3rd place, unable to do so. Salos gets 2nd. It'll be Lana Lau slipping back to 3rd. Then the ground follows him. Lap 1 complete. Must be a run single file. Here comes the Riley Golf Machine trying to make moves. This is for 7th place on Skylar Den. Can't really get beside him anymore. Indeed, likely just playing calm in the early few laps. Just get his car underneath him before jumping the gun. On the apron, Teague is trying to make a move on Dragons. And speaking of moves, that is Dylan LeGrand, number 77, up to 3rd place, making the move on Lana Lau. On the wall, that being Dragons, he also blinks. Conti makes a move, this will be for 6. 78 again in the wall on entry of turn 1. He's going to get cleared, likely, and it'll be Scourden trying to take advantage of that position. So a little sketchy here as the 78 is blinking. But he will get that spot away. Probably should pull this up too. Going to be lap 5 to start. Now he's scheduled 67. A lot of bottom feeders. It's just when the fuel window or tire window, the pit window. Let's just simplify that. The pit window is roughly 30 to 35 laps, but the most I've seen from anyone at this track on 2 is being 38. It's really a one-stop strategy, so you gotta just play a little more conservatively and just hang tough with this train, unfortunately. And when going down single file. It will be likely in exchange for the lead, as Silas builds up a run to William Viola, but he stays right to his bumper, entering the corner. Three-car tandem, that being Dragons in 6th place, leading Lau, and then back here, then it is D-Dog and Riley Golf in 9th actually, so Dragons is actually in 5th. He just got past Landalau to put himself in the top 5. Alright, off the pace, Sebastian Kukulon, Sam struggle at North Wilkesboro, and just still taking his time to shake off the roses. Got Hector Garcia to battle with at very minimum. This is for 10th place. Keystone Bell also by her lone son. Landalau just, or Bonnebeck, sorry, just joined the track, so it is what it is. I believe those are 13 cars that have started the race. The 666 likely just the server car. Yeah, just single file train, nothing really much to refer to. On board with T gear points leader. Brandon Carter is in here, Dragons is at 118 points, which is still a really good margin to uphold in the midway point of the season. Right now sitting 4th place and just doing his diligence. Just right around until the championship is dealt with. Threw it in a little bit into turret 1. Thought he was gonna hit the 77 for just a second. But Daniel Rodriguez, after not getting the win on Tuesday, he is making his charge now. Went back and saved some tires so he can overtake him. He went from 9th to 6th. Next up for him will be Dragons, who is starting to pull away a little bit, but not by much. Currently 7/10 between those two. The 70 or 65 rather should have the slipstream to pull himself back into the top 5. Right now, what makes the track position for the 51 really good is that he's got the D1 regulars ahead of him. Like, even if Salos isn't a racer as much anymore, he's still one of those drivers where you could heavily rely on. But he witnessed what happened on Tuesday. Negron and Viola did race, so they have the knowledge of the track already onto them. So T can just match their pace and stay up there. Gap between 5th and 6th remaining relatively the same, although the 78 did gain a little bit of time. Not that the 65 of D-Dog is in a hurry. He also got the 99 of Landalau just behind him. I'm trying to give chase. The bad pretends has come back up to the main draft. Kukulon leading over Hector Garcia, again for 10th. And they're now within the slipstream of Riley Golf. So that puts them in a good spot during green flag cycles, whenever they come. And the only other driver not in draft are Kirsten Bell, 5 seconds behind the leader, and Lana Lombeck, who is 7 laps down, joined the race. A little late. Just a little late. Only 7 laps. He can make that up. The 78 Dragons is really slipping. He's already a second off his fastest laps. That allows the 65 Dino Rodriguez to close in. And sooner or later, that 65 is going to be in the top 5. Maybe sooner, as the 78 smacks the wall. Gonna drift up high in the middle. Not necessarily the best line to take even on old rubber. It's going to be side by side for 5th. And Daniel Rodriguez back into the top 5. Up the road, Negron had a look at Salos, but couldn't get the run off the corner. And it's really challenging when it comes down to being parts of a single pedal train, like what we've been seeing. These tire strategies, conserving. You don't want to try the outside because it provides faster speeds, yes, but also a lot more turning. So ultimately, the best tire saving line is the shortest way around. And when everyone knows the one line, you know you can't block the bottom. It's ultimately just a matter of if you can develop a run, get to the inside on the straightaways, and that's your only hope of making an overtake. Now, Data got a little close call trying to stay within the jab from Dragons, who that 78 car has fallen back massively. Now is between 4th and 5th, closer to his 2nd, so that 65 really needs to pick up the pace if he were to stay in this. And Dragons, he was 5th, drops down to 8th place. Just got passed by Skylar Den. And these two, Kukulon and Garcia, still fighting each other, even gained by the rookie driver of Riley Golf. Put themselves both in the top 10. The 37 now outside. "21 laps complete of the scheduled 67 laps. William Viola technically won pole and has led every lap so far. Jonathan Salos just remains in P2. It'll be Negron in 3rd, Colin Teague in 4th place, Daniel Rodriguez 5th, and Lau in P6, Skyler Den in 7th, Jags in 8th, Hector Garcia in 9th, Sebastian Kukulon in 10th. It'll be Golf, Bell, who has just found themselves back within this, at least part of the draft, is starting to separate amongst themselves, but it's still really good nonetheless. And Lannebeck is also still on track, 7 laps down. We're about 10 laps away from green flag pit stops. And right now it's just William Viola doing what he does best. He's just a really good tire saver. And we see it time and time again. That's why he has 3 wins in the D1 calendar. And put himself as one of the 12 chase contenders. DeGrom, meanwhile, has moved himself up to 2nd, getting past Salos. And he'll try to see if he can crawl into Viola's lead. Rodriguez has caught up to Teague, so this will put him in a 4-car scrap for 2nd place. And then Lau trying to do his best in 6th, trying to catch up. But I believe Sun on Bag are just out of the draft now. And here comes Rodriguez for 4th, forcing the 51 up wide. Cross line, I think the 65 got... No, he didn't. So, The 51 was still credited 4th, but he will finally lose the position over to Daniel Rodriguez. 23 getting a little close off turn 2. And it cost them some speed down the backstretch. Stars, I believe, are starting to fade. Rodriguez, we saw him save in the opening 10 laps, now using that to his advantage. He already lost the position to Negron, and now he loses it. Outside podium places now. Puts him 4th behind Daniel Rodriguez. Lana Lamb has also joined the party. Just getting up close and personal to Teague. Developing a run through the quad oval. Gonna try outside here. And he gets into the wall. Massive skill issue. And all that while Viola is continuing to grow his lead closer to 1 second over 2nd place. And now we're pretty much in the... We're about to approach the pit window. We're on lap 29 now, so in a couple laps time, you'll see these drivers make their pit stop. Going to be Lau trying anything to get by him for Teague in 5th. Check back here. Kirsten Bell now into the top 10. Garcia and Dragons she has to battle with. And she gets by both of them on this lap, so from 10th to 8th. Only 8 seconds behind the leader, but she can still try. Up next for her will be Scout Den, who's by her himself. So momentarily the 99 was ahead of Teague, but he brushes the wall once again, making him lose that position. 1.2 is the margin between Viola and Negron. 3 laps of the scheduled 67 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway BPNR D2. And what a run for Lana this time. He's got to easily blow by Colin Teague, put himself in 5th. Meanwhile, Salas is just suffering 2 seconds of fall off from what I'm noticing when judging lap times. And he's not going to be able to defend against Lana Lau, who will continue to surge on the outside despite his mistakes, getting into the wall a couple of times, trying to get by Teague. It seems that he has figured it out now and is making headway. Lanenbach, who's already several laps down, he pits, so he's going to blow by William Viola as soon as his tires get up to 10th. Temporarily, he can act as a bridge, but that doesn't last very long as he's already at the rear bumper of Viola. We have one pitting, that being Salos. After 33 laps, this is down the halfway point, which, by the way, that was the halfway stage. There is no caution, so we continue chugging. It'll be Viola, Negron, Rodriguez, Lau, and Teague getting stage points. Only one of them is a D2 regular, so they'll contribute to Drivers' Championship, while the other 4 can still contribute to the Team's Championship, as all of the remaining top 4 have flocked down the pit lane. And that's basically everyone. Well, almost have to feel at very minimum. We saw Solos pit a lap earlier. Trying to find him. D-Dog going an extra lap. And same as Skylar Dan, who's going to miss the pit lane. Flat left front. And they're going to take the awkward line and get a stop and hold penalty. Basallo's entering turn 1 as that will be not enough to get by Viola. So it'll be 27 and 23 provisional 1-2, but there's a heated battle for third. It'll be Lau versus Nick Grunt. There's D-Dog leaving the pits now. He won't be able to gain much time. Again, there's Skylar just serving the stop and hold penalty. It's 30 seconds usually, but it really depends on the track. So after pit cycles, it should be the 27 in front. Just that scoring update, yes it is. It'll be Salos back to second place, pitting 1 lap earlier than majority of the top 4. It'll be Lau third, and then Grand P4. D-Dog pitting 1 lap later than the 27, 99, and 77. He remains 5th place. It'll be Teague coming into the pits again, something. But when unscheduled stop, I saw him pit with majority of the leaders, so I don't know if he took right sides only on accident, so he's back down the pit lane. Not trouble for the points leader. And put his dent into the 100 plus point lead he had entering this race. But the battle for third has now become a battle for second as Salos just lets the 99 go and will do the same with Negron. So from second to fourth in just 2 corners. But the 23's plan of pitting a lap earlier, it's meant to crawl back into the time he lost during the first stint. But if he's not careful about the tires to match them in terms of wear, he'll find the suffering in the long run. 40 laps complete. It'll be Viola just up the road. We're right on board with Salos, who, well, is trying to make his way back into the podium positions. Currently unable to do so. It'll be D-Dog out of their draft, aiming in 5th. Teague has rejoined the track in 11th place, so he's gonna make a whole lot of speed to get back into the top 10, where he'll likely finish. Negron trying to make something for second place against Landa Lau, trying to force a mistake. It's just difficult to pass when the only objective is to be conservative. And given the structure of the track position right now, in a literal position scenario, these 3 are gonna have to work together to catch up to Viola, as he has no one in front of him, and the error push he would be getting from second place is weakening. At that time, it was neutral. Between first and second remains 1.1 seconds. I am noticing that Salos is drifting back ever so slightly, not enough to deteriorate him. Any other scraps happening? Yes, there is. There's this for 8th place. The Sebastian Kukulon versus Riley Golf. Golf. My bad. Keystone Bell trying to use lap car. Lonneman trying to catch her way back up. Colin Teague laps down. D-Dog. There's that. Here's a move. This is for second. It'll be Negron versus Lyle. It'll be 77 who gets the second place position, but still not clear. And the 77 up to second place, Dylan Negron in the Peugeot. Lyle ain't done yet. He's trying to sniff the inside, but the 77 covers him off. And both of them have actually gained on Viola, gaining 1/10 that lap, and is another 2/10. As we head into the closing 20 laps of the Stars and Stripes 100 at BPNR D2 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. My 4-car gaggle. This is for 6th. It'll be Keystone Bell in that position. Actually, there's 2 battles for position. 29 and 78, that'll be for 6th place. Well, actually no. Lonemax still laps down. I thought that was Colin Teague, but my bad. So 12 and 13 is not necessarily passing each other for position, but Keystone Bell's getting really feisty. You might, if you're not in the lead draft, you might as well just find a battle and just have fun with it. Top 4 starting to equally separate as Negron is chipping down on Viola's lead, now only 4/10. At that time, the neutral lap times, so Negron wants to get into the mirror of the 27, or he's just trying to get away from Lyle, so he has less pressure put on him. Not much progress with D-Dog, so it's likely just gonna come down to these 4. Salo's at the worst position out of these top 4. Only 1 lap for older tires, but is already in 4th place and is slowly slipping back. And by at least 1/10 a lap slower than even the next car ahead of him. With Garcia making moves for 9th place, and he gets it done on Kukulon. It'll be Riley Golf also. This 87 might have gotten loose in 3, messes up his line, and the 16 will surge around the outside to retake that position. It just did nothing good up here. Might as well just keep the battle over here, as these 3 have Kyle back to put him another lap down. Well, he's actually just been 7 laps down this entire race. It just hasn't gotten lucky with any caution flag. There hasn't been a caution at all this race. 10 on the 11 is popping the wall and the entry of the corner, so if the 37 is wanting to get by him, it's gonna have to make headway on the bottom lane. Check out back with the leaders. Salos has cut. Landolau is riding the rear bumper. And now he finally peeks his nose under. It's going to be likely in exchange for third place. But we see Lau be able to defend well and be the aggressor on the outside lane. So this is going to be a tall order for Salos to get by the fatty. And with these two battling, they've effectively removed themselves from the conversation for the race win. As the 23 gets clear, puts them back in the podium places. So they'll have to trick in and enough speed to stay in the draft of the 77, who has closed in on Viola, now down to 3/10. With 11 laps to go of the scheduled 67. Viola was actually 1/10 faster, so now up to 4.5 tenths between him and DeGron. Still a bit of a scrap here. At this point, Lonenberg is wall popping, which is illegal. Oh, they're banging each other here. There'll be a spinning 87 Lexus down the backstretch. Only a single car we continue, but it makes the battle for 7th a little less stressful for Dragons, but it'll still not be enough. Here comes Riley Goff. And they will get that position. This is for 7th. Yep, battle for 3rd still, but not side by side. They're losing time still to the leaders. Negron back within 3/10 of Viola. They're on the same tire strategy, both of them pitted on the same lap, but I believe that Negron was saving a bit better. Some laps he's fast, some laps he's slow. While Viola has led pretty much every lap of the race, apart from the pit cycle. But he's just able to keep at a consistent speed and just stay like that. And no one has really challenged the number 27 for the lead. And that's Dragons in the wall, so that P7 battle is no more. The lead gap expands, just ever so slightly. Coming to 6 to go. Remember, overtime is possible, but given how spread out the field is, I highly doubt that will be the case. On board with Plow as he uses the speed on the outside to make a charge for 3rd. He wants the position back. And he gets it done. As simple as that. Salas ain't done, but he's gonna try the middle. No one's really been able to utilize it. believe that'll be 99's podium place to lose. Viola at this point, excuse me. Viola still leading and has actually gapped the 77 a little bit, only getting 2 tenths as last time we checked in, but at this point, it's enough to presume that you can probably push and just continue building the gap. Oh, there's a spin just up the road, 2 cars. It'll be Dragons and Kukulon. I believe caution's out. I believe so. I've noticed that I didn't put these up the entire time, the flags, so my bad. Yeah, the caution's out, and given how late we are into the race, this will put us into overtime for 2 nights straight. Trying to find the goobers that wrecked. So they were fighting still for now the 7th place. When Dragons moves up into the 16 and both of them go around. That'll be the 2-car accident. Maybe give you a better idea. Staying focused with the 16. It's like both of them are kind of just drifting towards each other. The 16 was also coming down ever so slightly, but even still, just one of those risks that 78 was trying to make when he had the middle lane or bottom lane open, but he chose to run middle, trying to force the 16 up. So there's that squabble. So I'm gonna have to move forward to put us into the pit stops. Given how late this is into the race, you have to, and even into the stint, you have to come down pit lane. And all the lead lap cars do just that. So it'll be an easy race win off the pit lane for Viola. That is Lyle and Salos. Get the choose code cam because I haven't actually had to use this all race. So, all that tire saving was all for naught. You got yourself the track position, but now it is time to put the chips down as we go into overtime, going bypass the scheduled 67 lap distance. And we'll put up the extra 5 laps into use. All the lappers are coming down. I might as well just skip all this. Speed up a little bit. 78 gets a wave around, and so will the 11. Well, everyone actually. Every lap car gets a wave around. So we'll see if this is choose cone. I'm unsure. And it is not. I don't think. Go another lap. Because why not? Because this is replay mode and I could just do that. So Viola chooses inside, Lau outside. Salos inside. Those are your top 3. So it shall be tire saving specialist William Viola versus Lau, the outside brimmer. I don't know what to actually call him. Just cut towards turn 4 here. And it'll be 2 to go, which actually works, because there's only 2 laps left in the game. So pace car heads in. Overtime for a second straight day. Green flag. 99 with the wheel spin. And here comes Salos trying to peek his nose under, unable to get side by side. 3 wide for 5th place. That'll be Skyward in the middle. Kukulon brushes the wall. Loses that opportunity. It'll be Viola versus Salos. Coming off 4. Taking the white flag. Trying outside, but fakes him a. Trying to run the middle. Get a little more speed. And Viola's going defensive. He blocks inside. And with nothing the 23 can do, it will be William Viola taking another checker flag in D2. The most boring out winner we can even get, including overtime. Let's see. Salos, you suck. DeGron, you put up a good fight. Lyle is dead again. You suck. And that's all the people I have to hate. So then, Viola wins again. It'll be Salos P2, DeGron 3rd. It'll be Lane Lyle P4, Houston Bell with a tough start, able to get into the top 5. Me Skyridan P6. Riley Goff P7. Good debut race for them. Smashing Kukla and Ace. It'll be Hector Garcia 9s and Teague in the top 10 after his pit issues. During the green flag stint, be Dragons 11s and Bottomback 12th after joining the race leads, and D-Dog being the only DNF. I guess this man can do his burnouts even though we've seen it like 700 times already. Like, give or take about Dunn's performance in D1. But still, I don't know what point I'm trying to make. The point is, Viola is becoming a boring winner. Get a better look at the car, I guess. And there you go. That's all you're getting. So thankfully, because I'm not in a TeamSpeak, I don't have to wait for interviews. So I can quickly wrap this up, because honestly, it's high as hell, and I need to lay down. So, because it's on Thursday, it's technically tomorrow where the Budweiser Cup Series hits the Landmark Park. It'll be streamed on time for once. At 9 p.m. No has their All-Star event at Daytona, reusing CSCA's Summer Shootout assets. That'll be on Cheesefood Media, I think. Saturday, you got the Double Trouble, that is Talladega OSCC at 7:55 and IFAR at 9:30 on Cheesefood Media. As there's nothing happening Sunday, as both Desiree and Coral are off for the Coca-Cola 600. Monday, on Memorial Day itself, it'll be Cars with their Revival Tour, getting to their second race in Fontana, California. Next time for BPNR D2, it pretty much coincides with the D1 schedule. It'll be an off week. this next Wednesday, so we have to wait until June for them to return to action. So, again, next stream I do, it'll be on time. It'll as scheduled. It'll be the Budweiser Cup series. So, as for a little experiment for a tape delay stream, it honestly feels not that different compared to a live session. Although it did mess me up at the start, the very start when I tried to mute my mic. But that's the only hurdle I had to conquer. So, thank you for tuning in, whether that being live or in the VOD, because this isn't the best time frame, but it's the only one that I can work with. So, until tomorrow,